Hey guys, welcome to No Filters, Just Freedom, the show for people who are ready to stop shrinking, start rising, and live with unapologetic audacity. My name is Jasmine, I'm a life coach, and I'm here to guide us all through this journey of bold, authentic living. Hello. I am excited to be with everybody today. The week is almost over, and I am super hype about today's topic, where we are trashing toxic productivity. Yes. In a world where your inbox never sleeps, where I'll quickly check my email turns into a 3-hour work coma, this one podcast episode dares to ask, what if we just didn't? Welcome to the Anti-Hustle Support Group. My name is Jasmine, a recovering productivity addict. I would describe myself as lazy for needing human things like food and sleep. And I believed that work balance life meant answering texts and emails while peeing. I was brainwashed by toxic productivity, that voice who whispers, you could always be doing more. But today I threw that voice out like last week's trash. I burned that to-do list and I pee in peace like the rebel that I am. So join me and let's burn this hustle cult to the ground. So here's some signs that you might be in a toxic relationship with productivity. You feel guilty for eating lunch like some kind of human who needs food. My goodness. Why do I need to eat? It's not like I have to sustain myself. I sustain myself on the pride that I get by checking something off the to-do list. If that sounds like you, then you might need to sit down and rethink some of the priorities you have. Because there are just basic human needs. There are a lot of wants that we have. There are a lot of things that can be high on the priority list. But there are just some things that can't happen without actually being able to function. You need to eat, you need to sleep, you need to breathe. That's kind of how life works. And when you choose to prioritize something over your mental and physical health, you have your priorities out of whack. You're in a toxic relationship. Also, if you've actually said, I'll sleep when I'm dead, unironically, guess what? Sleep deprivation actually kills faster than starvation. Look it up. And I get it. I'm one of those people that have struggled immensely with sleep. And if you are struggling to sleep, sometimes you feel like, well, I'm awake, so I might as well get X, Y, and Z done. No. You don't have to. If anything, you need to find a way to go to sleep, whether or not that's listening to a podcast or listening to certain types of music or watching some ASMR video on YouTube. I don't care what it is, but the goal is to train yourself to sleep, not do things because you're not falling asleep. It's counterintuitive. If you have no days off, you're probably in a toxic relationship. Look, even God took a day off. And I mean that jokingly, but still, like, you need a break. You cannot sustain 24/7. We were not made for that. Your body is a machine, but it is not a machine that can produce all the time. It needs maintenance. It needs help. It needs a break. And if you're not giving it to it, you will run it ragged. If you believe that time is money, funny bet, why are we all still poor? It doesn't matter how much time you put in if you can't be productive with it to make money. It doesn't matter. That's not how that works. The amount of effort you put in, the amount of time for 24 hours a day does not mean you're making more money. If anything, you're making less because the amount of time you put in per what you get back financially makes the money you make per hour less. If I made $100 and worked for 10 hours, I made $10 an hour. But if I made $100 and I did it in 4 hours, I made $25 an hour, which means my time is worth more by working less. So the idea that time is money and that you have to do more, it's not true. It's a lie that we tell ourselves. Or if you believe the idea that you have the same 24 hours as like Beyonce or something, guess what? You do. And she has a staff of 200 people. That's why she gets things done the way she does. When you have that much help, when you have an army working for you, you'd be amazed at how much you can get more done because you have 200 people working 24 hours and she's working 24 hours. You just get so much more done. If you had an army of workers for you, you'd be amazed at what you could get done too. But since it's just you, it's okay if you need a break and everything can't get done. It'll still be there tomorrow. You will not die. So newsflash, the only people who want you to believe that hustle equals worth are the ones profiting from your exhaustion. Okay? It's a capitalistic society. It's corporate life. Okay? If I'm the boss in charge, I want everybody underneath me to be working harder so that I don't have to work. That's what our country runs like. That's what business operates like. So you have to break that mold for yourself so you don't burn yourself out. Jeff Bezos isn't grinding at 3 a.m. He's probably chilling and sleep on a yacht and then waking up to laugh at our rise and grind posts. He didn't become a billionaire by being up at 3 a.m. every day, all day. Sometimes you have to work smarter, not harder. Your body is not a machine. We treat ourselves like a malfunctioning Keurig, and it's crazy. We feel like we have low on energy. So what do? You just shove more caffeine pods in. It's cool. If I just have more Starbucks, if I just have more coffee, if I have more Mountain Dew, if I have another Monster, I'll just get that second kick and that next energy, and then I can get more done. You cannot live off of 5-hour energies. You can't. Your body cannot sustain it. You feel like you're overheating, like the machine you keep trying to tell yourself you are? Don't worry, it'll just pass. They're just passion sweats. No, being passionate about something doesn't mean you have to blow your brains out, okay? You can be passionate and relaxed. You can be passionate and go to sleep. You can care about what you're doing and still organize it with peace and joy in your life. I'm passionate about this podcast. I'm passionate about getting these episodes done. Does not mean I have to spend 24 hours a day doing them. It's just not how that operates, okay? You can have a break too. There are so many things I'm passionate about in my life that I do not let overtake me, no matter how much I love it. I am so passionate about being a mom. I love my daughter. I love what I do. I love spending time with her. But guess what? Sometimes I need individual time where my name is still Jasmine, not my daughter's mom. But sometimes that's all I need. It's okay to be passionate about something and still take time away from it. There's no reason to overwhelm yourself and overheat your life under the guise of, I'm really, really into it. You also feel yourself like a machine making weird noises. You cannot tell yourself, I'm probably fine. No, you're short-circuiting, guys. You're losing it. You're overwhelmed by so much. And it's your body's way of trying to tell you that you need to stop. You need a break. You need to chill out. That laziness you feel, it's your nervous system screaming stop before we burn the whole house down. Cause that's what's happening. You can only do but so much. You're like a car engine that doesn't get its oil changed. The oil will leave, it will evaporate, and then your gears will be grinding on each other. And guess what? Then the engine just, for lack of a better term, blows up. It does not work anymore. Your transmission fails. Everything just breaks and the car is no longer functional. That's what you're doing. You're just grinding, going. On a physical human level, it's like when you start losing cartilage in your joints. You don't have any cartilage in your knee anymore. So now your bones are just rubbing. And one day it just doesn't work anymore. One day you need a knee replacement or a hip replacement because your bones just rub, and now it doesn't work right anymore. That's essentially what you're doing with your life. When you're overworking yourself and treating yourself like a machine, and you feel like, if I'm not productive, what is my purpose? We have to break away from this hustle culture, because it's a scam. Hustle culture isn't real. It makes you feel less than. It drives on your insecurity, and you see other people doing things and you perceive them to be great, and then you want to do more because you're trying to keep up with them. It's dangerous. It is a very dangerous cycle that we have to get out of. And there's some signs to know that you're burnt out, not lazy. When you look at your to-do list and it makes you physically sick, you're probably burned out. Anything that needs to happen that makes you want to shoot yourself in the head, you probably need a break from it, and you probably don't need to do it right now. You probably need to sleep on it and come back to it when you can breathe and go, okay. Laundry, I do not like doing it. Laundry, I really dislike laundry. And the only thing I dislike more than doing my laundry is folding my laundry. I cannot stand folding laundry. But I can normally, when I have peace and I have some sleep, I can breathe and go, okay, we're doing laundry today. But when I'm overwhelmed and my to-do list is through the roof, I look at my laundry and I want to just die. I just want to fall apart. I just want to, no. I have to take a break and I have to recalibrate and I have to do what is necessary in order to make sure that completing my to-do list doesn't make me want to jump off a cliff. Also, if basic tasks feel like climbing Mount Everest, you're probably burnt out too. Doing the dishes should not feel like you just ran a marathon. They're just dishes. No one likes doing the dishes, but it doesn't have to be that complicated of a task. And if it feels that complicated, you need to go to sleep. You need a break. You need to go watch a movie and chill on Netflix or do something and just recalibrate. No one likes to vacuum. I hate sweeping up after my dog. His hair is everywhere. I do not like doing it, but it's not like a crazy chore. It takes me like 5-10 minutes to do the whole house. It's not that deep. But if I feel like that I have just walked to hell and back just to sweep up his hair, probably overworked. And I need to take a chill pill because I've done too much for the day. And that's okay. It's okay for me to recognize that I may or may not have done too much. I need to reel it back. It's all good. Again, if you are fantasizing about running away and joining the circus so you no longer have to deal with what you're dealing with, I promise you're burned out and overworked. When you are trying to run away from what life has to offer, there's nothing, I don't know a stronger way of saying you are overworked and you need to chill out. You need a vacation. My husband loved that man to death. I know his reasoning behind it was different, but he taught me this amazing concept of a staycation. I don't know if you guys do that or you guys heard about it. But basically what he did for me is that he was like, you need a vacation. We're going to take a vacation. Man, I was so ready. I packed a bag. I was like, we're going on vacation, right? And this is while we were still dating. And we didn't live together. And I packed this bag and I thought we were going somewhere. So I get to his place and I'm like, where are we going? And he takes my phone and he like hides it from me and gets rid of the charger and was like, we're not going anywhere. And I was like, what are you talking about? You said we were going on vacation. And he was like, yeah, you're going on vacation here. No one can get to you. No one knows where you are. They think you went out of town. You may be 2 miles up the road, but nobody has to know. And you can spend the next 3 days completely off the grid. Y'all, after the panic attack I had for the first 5 minutes, it was the greatest 3 days of my life. There was no pressure. There was no need to interact with anybody. I was happy. I was chill. I didn't have to go nowhere. I didn't have to spend any extra money that I didn't want to spend. I love that man because he showed me that it was possible to disconnect with also not having to spend millions of dollars going to the beach or going on these trips and, drinking out with friends and doing, because sometimes you can go on vacation and you need a vacation from your vacation. That's a lot. And it does happen. But sometimes you just need to recharge. And so now we try to do our own personal staycations. Can be a little bit harder having a kid, but it's a beautiful thing when we unplug and we just don't talk to anybody. We find an anime that we enjoy. We play a video game together. We do something and we just don't answer the phone. We drink a beer and we hang out together and we recharge and we recalibrate, and then we're ready to go back to work or do the things that we normally do throughout the week. Everybody needs a staycation. Then you won't feel like you have to run away from your life and never come back. So repeat after me. Rest is not crumbs. It's the whole friggin' cake, guys. It's the whole cake. Rest is not crumbs. It's the whole cake. You have to eat it. You want the whole thing. You deserve to eat the entire piece of cake. You deserve to have an entire meal. Not just leftovers, not just the little bits that someone left straggling on the table or whatever else. You need sleep. You need to decompress. Sometimes resting isn't just physical, but it's mental and emotional too. Sometimes you just don't need to feel so much all at once. Sometimes you just need a moment to not feel. Sometimes you need a moment to just not think. Like I need to do something mind-numbing because my brain just can't. I just can't. And if that means that you're playing a phone video game or you're watching some random Hallmark movie because it makes you feel good, but you don't have to think about it, whatever it is, you need to recalibrate. And it's okay to treat yourself to the whole meal. And when your job says, we're like family here, you can tell them, great, so you'll understand that I need personal time. There's nothing wrong with requesting that. And don't feel like you have to, in your corporate world, hustle, 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 go, 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 and think everything is going to be okay. And when people say, well, just one quick thing, you can look at them and say, is anyone literally dying? No? Well, then this can wait. It's a boundary. It's about setting yourself up for success. It's about saying to yourself, look, I value my peace, my time, and my energy more than whatever is happening right now. It can wait. If someone is not dying, it can wait. Not everything deserves your 100% A game. Some things deserve your C game. Like when you're at work and there's like an office potluck or luncheon. You ain't got to put a lot of energy into that. C level. Or you can have your B game when you have mandatory training for things. Or you have to go re-up your license, or you have to do things like that. You're like, oh, okay, that's some effort. We need to actually put in a little bit. Got B game for that. And your A game is priorities like food, sleep, your real relationships, the actual things that matter in life. That's what requires your energy. That's what requires your A game. I'm a sports geek, so forgive me. For those of you that aren't into sports, I'll try to make this as painless as possible. I'm watching baseball. Okay, I'm a Yankees fan. Don't hate me. I'm watching the Yankees play, and in baseball, during a couple of innings, they'll put the mic on somebody while they're playing, and their fan questions, and all that jazz. You could just hear them. And one player was talking about, he did a quote about how he used to give 100% on everything, but now he's learned that he can be a great baseball player at 70%. And that is so confusing and so counterintuitive. And they asked him about that. They were like, what do you mean 70%? And he was like, sometimes you're at 100% and you're trying too hard. You're over swinging, you're overthinking, you're missing the play because you're just all wound up at 100% and go, go, go. And he goes, and sometimes you just need to slow down. Sometimes you got to let the game come to you. Sometimes you have to take a breather and go, okay, what can I offer this moment? And then offer that moment to the best of your ability with what you have. And I was like, I would have never thought about that. And that applies to life so much, because sometimes you can work really, really hard and be 100% productive, but you're killing yourself on the inside. You're completely wound up and everything is causing you to just spiral because everything is 100% and I gotta go and I gotta do and I gotta complete this list and I gotta do all these things. And you know what? Sometimes it doesn't work. I have my own personal mental health struggles, okay? And for me, if I'm not careful, I can get into these really dangerous cycles. When I am in the middle of toxic productivity, my sleep goes out the window. One time, I was up for almost 5 days straight without sleeping. Like, I might have gotten a 30 to 45 minute nap, but I really wasn't sleeping because I told myself, oh, I'm just going to do this one thing. And then that one thing turned into two, and then it turned into a whole project. But then I still had other things to do on the list, and then I couldn't stop. I just had to go, go, go. It was so dangerous. And the worst part about that is that at some point, your body does give out. So what happened? I crashed. And that crash lasted like 2 to 3 weeks because my body was so overwhelmed and overworked. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't get out the bed. I barely had the energy to shower because I had completely overworked myself. We have to get out of that mindset that the more we do, the better off we're gonna be. It's not true. Sometimes you can't give 100%. Sometimes you gotta give 70%. So here's the hard truth. You will never, ever be caught up. The inbox will refill. The laundry will reproduce. The to-do list is immortal. Surrender. Let it go. It's gonna be okay. Believe in the idea that it's not my monkey, not my circus. Okay? You do not have to take on everything. You are not responsible for everything. Let it go. Think about the idea that some things could just be tomorrow's problem. It's still going to be there, so I'll handle it tomorrow. Now I'm going to go to bed. I'm going to take care of this. I need to edit a TikTok post. I need to edit something, but it doesn't have to be posted for 3 days. It'll still be there tomorrow for me to edit. Right now, I'm going to go hang out with my kid. You know, I need to edit this podcast. It'll still be there tomorrow. I'm going to eat dinner. You know, I'm going to go to bed because it's what's healthy. It'll still be here tomorrow. The idea that I will not set myself on fire to keep others warm. That is a very difficult thing for those of us that are caught in a toxic productivity cycle. You cannot overwork yourself to make other people feel good. There's just not a better or nicer way to say that. It's just that simple. Burning yourself to the ground does not help a situation at all. It just destroys you. So here's your anti-productivity homework, and you're totally allowed to half-ass it because who cares? 1, do one thing inefficiently. Like handwrite some notes or walk instead of drive. I like walking different places around the corner because I can. It would be a 2-minute car ride, but sometimes I just need to take a walk. 2, block 2 hours for absolutely nothing. Nap, stare at a wall. Who cares? You have 2 hours of nothingness. Do nothing with it. It's beautiful. And 3, when asked, how are you? Don't say busy. Try well rested. And watch other people's heads explode. Tag me on Instagram at breathe_easy_coaching or find me on TikTok at lifecoach_Jasmine J using hashtag lazyrevolution. We can be rebels in this support group together. Now go take a nap, you radical rebel. Your to-do list can wait, honestly, forever. Remember, you don't need permission to be great. And this is your call to rise, to reclaim your power and to step boldly into the life you were meant to live. I believe extraordinary potential lives in all of us. The dreams we've tucked away, the voice that was softened, and the fire that's been waiting to burn bright. This journey isn't about fitting into someone else's mold. It's about shattering expectations and embracing your truest, most unapologetic self. No more shrinking or waiting for permission. The world needs your brilliance, your resilience, and your unique light. It's time to stop asking, am I enough? And start declaring, I am more than enough. Your next chapter begins now. Let's write it with courage, audacity, and unshakable belief in who you are. The unstoppable person isn't born, they're awakened. And that person is you. Now go start your revolution. This world needs your unshaken light today.